All right, so here's the thing. My phone keeps dying. One of these days I'm gonna have a phone that doesn't die all the time. Not die, but I don't know, the camera just turns off. I don't know why. Maybe it's my cue to shut up, I'm not sure. But anyway. So, yeah. 40% of the people are one paycheck away from being homeless. Give me a break, man. It's ridiculous. Come on. No. It's like you lose your paycheck and then what, you're just gonna lay down and die? You lose a paycheck, you're just gonna walk out and become, no, you miss a paycheck, you're gonna go get a new job, you're gonna scramble, you're gonna hustle, you're gonna do whatever needs to be done to take care of yourself. That's what you're gonna do. I mean, there's gonna be homeless people, there just is. You can spend 30 trillion, 300 trillion, 3,000 trillion, 3 quadrillion. I mean, you can spend all the money in the world, there's always gonna be homeless people. Because some people choose to be homeless and some people they just have something going on that causes them to, you know, get in that situation, find themselves in that situation. And I can relate to that. Not because I've ever been homeless. I haven't, thanks be to God. But we all have issues. All of us find ourselves in situations we would prefer not to be in. I mean, we all do. It's not a question of give them a home and now everything's okay. I'm not suggesting that we shouldn't help people. Quite the contrary. I'm suggesting that putting giant piles of money in the hands of a politician might not be helping as many people as we think it is. It might be helping a grossly small fraction of the people we think it's helping. I mean, you pay people to be poor, you're going to create a lot of poor people. You know? You pay a person not to work. I mean, it's just a question of, pay me enough, maybe I would choose not to work. It's not good, bad, evil, good. It's called rational thought processes. That's just the way it is. I mean, pay somebody not to work, you're going to get a lot of people not working. You pay for somebody's house, now you just took their incentive to work away. Took, a portion of their incentive to work away. That's the problem. You give a politician the responsibility to help people that need help. He goes out and finds 1,000 people that don't need help and persuades them to believe or to act as if they do need help because it enriches him to have more people to help. I mean, that's what we're dealing with. When you start giving money to politicians, look, you want to know what the answer is? Well, I don't know, because I'm just a person with an opinion. I don't know what the answer is, but I have my opinion. My opinion, since we're a church, and since I was invited to that thing as a church member, my opinion is that Jesus is the model. And Jesus didn't come down talking about social programs. Jesus came down helping people, one-on-one. To me, you really want to revolutionize the community? Then stop talking to the politicians and start talking to the people that need help. Face-to-face, one-on-one. I mean, it's like they say, a fire starts with a little spark. You get a little spark of benevolence, of, brotherly love going. And you start a fire of brotherly love, okay? It's going to revolutionize your community. I mean, literally, like crazy, like madness. And then you won't need the politics. I mean, how wonderful is that? You don't need an institution that teaches you how to speak institution speak. Like this other institution that said something like, the reason people are homeless is because there's no affordable housing. I'm like, it just doesn't see that. No, sorry, I don't support your institution anymore. Because the thing is, these institutions, they head off in a direction that's only 1 or 2% off course. It's imperceptibly off course, and this is a perfect example of that. It's almost imperceptibly off. Imperceptibly. I can't say that word. Imperceptibly off course. But I can perceive it because I care about these things, or I think about them, or whatever. Or I'm just a natural born jerk or something. I don't know, but that's off course. It's like, no, that's ridiculous. That's absurd. There's tons of affordable houses everywhere. If you can't afford a house, can you afford a third of a house? Well, then go get 2 friends and the 3 of you throw your money together and pay for the house. I mean, what are you going to do? How much are you going to lower rental rates or house sale rates or whatever, to get down lower than a third of whatever the asking rate? No, I mean, come on. No. This is just the manipulation of language with malintent. This is not benevolence. This is manipulation. This is nonsensical baby talk. I talk baby talk all the time. I talk baby talk to my dog. I talk baby talk to my grandkids. I'm not going to talk baby talk to grown-ups. Oh, we're all just one paycheck away from being homeless. Like, no, we're not. No, we're not. I'm sorry. I have too much self-respect to engage in that kind of discourse. And I have too much respect for you to engage in discourse like that with you. That's ridiculous. It's absurd. It's nonsensical. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, even a poor person loses a paycheck. I've been through all that. But somebody loses a paycheck doesn't mean they're homeless. That means they go find a new job. No, people are homeless because they have mental issues or because they have emotional issues or because of, in my opinion, 90% of it, 99% of it goes back to their family life. It's not their fault. Their parents did it to them or maybe they didn't have parents and their uncle or their aunt or somebody did not step up to the plate when they should have to take care of them when they were kids. But point is, Jesus gave us the model. Jesus, he was God. He could have come down here and started an $800 trillion foundation or agency or 501c3, whatever the Roman equivalent of a he could have started some kind of institution that still stood to this day, for the good of mankind, with all of this flowery pretense, giant, fancy columns and ivy-colored buildings and fancy plaques with Latin-based phrases, expertly carved into the plaque. He could have done all the stuff that we love to do. He could have engaged in all of that slobbering idolatry, which is what we love. We love idolatry. We're all idol worshipers. We worship these buildings with these plants growing up the side of them. We worship these organizations with these little pieces of paper that have their charters and whatnot. And no, come on, no. You want to help somebody? Just leave the politicians out of the equation. You're never going to get anywhere with them. $30 trillion and we're still overrun with homeless people. And I don't mean literally like overrun. I'm just saying there's so many to help that we're all running around. How do we help these people? Well, it's like, well, obviously whatever we've been doing for the last 70 years hasn't worked, has it? Because they're still here. Okay, so we're not doing them any favors. We're not doing ourselves any favors. Well, we must be doing the politicians a lot of favors. They must be the ones getting all of the favors. And you know what? I think that's probably true. So I think we need to do what Jesus did and do our best, because he did his best, to start a forest fire of brotherly love, one-on-one, face-to-face, hand-to-hand, breath-to-breath, eye-to-eye, and just adopt a person who's in need and let them know in one way or another, with words or without words, that you're there for them to the bitter end. They're not a project for you. They're not something you're doing to make yourself feel better about yourself or to fulfill something that your preacher or your mother or your father or somebody told you to do. You're there because they're a human being. They are an image of God, and you're honoring God by doing what you can to improve the quality of life and stature and status and privilege of this image of God that is broken. Okay? Images get broken. If you had a picture of your parents and the frame got broken, hopefully you'd love your parents enough to go fix the frame and put the picture back in a place of honor and status and prestige. And that's what we should be doing with these people, the people that are broken. and all of us are broken, so we should all help each other. But we're talking about the poor, you know? That's what we should be doing. They're images of God. They're not projects. They're not causes. They're not justifications for creating idols, which we call which are in our age are known as institutions. You know? Forget the institutions. I mean, you create an institution, you just create something else that has needs. They got mortgages, they got rent, they got salaries, they got healthcare plans, they got lawyer fees, they got this, they got that. I mean, you got to pay so much stuff. It's a miracle they can ever help anybody because they have so many of their own needs to fulfill. These institutions do, and until their coffers get full and start overflowing because they're really good at schmoozing people, it's like this is not the point, man. We're missing the point. The point is brotherly love. You know, a revolution that has no leader. It's like a forest fire. Once the forest fire starts, who can say where it started? Nobody knows. Nobody cares. And that's the way this should be. The revolution of brotherly love in our community should be something that just starts, that just takes off, that consumes all of the need, consumes all of the pain, consumes all of the disease, consumes it all. Nobody knows where it started, when it started, who's leading it. There is no leader, and nobody cares because it's just amazing. That's my opinion. And that's it. I want to say more, but I'm going to stop because I've already blathered enough. God bless you. Have a wonderful evening. Bye.